Okay, Mudpuppy tutorial on how to install a mechanical seal and gap a 250 pump. Our first step is to set our roll pin in the stuffing box. We have a punch with a hole in it. We'll align that. We'll hit this down just to get it started. We take an old carbide half from a mechanical seal with no O-ring in it, and we will line the notch over the roll pin, and we will take a wooden handle and hit that down until it won't drop anymore. And we know we have set the roll pin to the max height to allow it to grab the mechanical seal to prevent it from spinning. Once that's installed, we'll take our new mechanical seal with the grease that's provided, put a little lubricant around the O-ring, and we will align it and install it over the roll pin. We usually take a shop towel over the same wooden handle, and we will hit that in until it's installed. Once that's set, we'll take our stuffing box and put it onto our pedestal. Pedestal's chrome gets 2 bolts. Ductile is 1 bolt in the back. We will align our second half of the mechanical seal over our sleeve. We like to set the mechanical seal close to the tapered edge. When installing it, we want the 2 halves to make contact, and then we push the sleeve on. That ensures that the 2 halves are making contact and there's no gap to create a leak. We'll grab our impeller with our spring and our O-ring on it. Ensuring that the spring is sitting on both the impeller and the mechanical seal, you can start to thread it on. And once that's on all the way, nice and tight, we'll come over here and we'll adjust it. So right now, with a new pump, everything is adjusted forward. We have a large gap here, and to pull this impeller backwards, we're gonna loosen up our adjustment screws, and then with an Allen, we will start to tighten that in. You can see we're creating a gap. We're pulling the whole shaft backwards. When we get the gap that we want, we'll use a socket and we will tighten these up. These 2 pull it backwards. These 2 pull it in. That holds the shaft in place. Your gap that you want is about a 32nd of an inch. And we go around and we check all the vanes of the impeller. We'll also spin it, ensuring that we're not dragging on anything. From here, you would put your gasket and your housing back on, tighten it down, and then you can put the pump back into service. If you're rebuilding the pump and your impeller hits your stuffing box, before you can get it all the way tightened, you want to pull your impeller bolt out, take your impeller off, come back to this stage, you want to pull your shaft sleeve off, because now you're going to push your shaft this way. That's going to slide this forward. It'll create a gap between the 2 halves. You want to push that back down, pull your shaft forward, reinstall this, then reinstall your impeller and continue the process as normal. And then you can re-gap it, allowing a 32nd of an inch behind the impeller for proper gapping. So the reason why we start with the shaft forward is so that when we pull it together, we keep our mechanical seal closed up. We've set up an example here of this shaft being too far back so you can see the mechanical seal itself. If I went to adjust this pump completely built with the mechanical seal installed and the impeller on, if I took this pump forward, if you watch this mechanical seal half, it's going to stay on the shaft sleeve and it's going to continue to move forward with the shaft. And I've created a gap between the two halves of the mechanical seal. And now fluid's going to go right through it, come out, and just start leaking right away. Can you get in there and show them? If you look in there, the two halves of the mechanical seal probably have about ½ an inch gap in between them. And fluid will just go right around that. So that's why we need to pull this off. Push it forward and then reinstall it. Now we have contact between the two halves and we can slide that all the way forward. And then we can reinstall our impeller and continue on with the build.